Sure. One of the things we're working on right now, and it's because we teach all subjects, we really search for ways to integrate the curriculum into one project. So we right now we're starting on a project where we're dissecting frogs for our science cells and body systems unit. And then for social studies, we're studying world history and ancient Egypt. So we're actually going to take the frog remains and mummify them and then prepare them as the ancient Egyptians would in some way or another. For math, we're going to be calculating the size of a sarcophagus that we would need in terms of surface area and create a net, for that shape. For language arts, we're going to be creating eulogies and writing sympathy notes, kind of get a sense of how, what's the language and kind of text frames for those kinds of communications. And then for art, we're going to be looking at the style of Egyptian frontalism and telling the story of the frog to adorn the side of the sarcophagus. So in that one project, we're taking all of our curricular areas, and the nice thing with that is it doesn't really matter whether the timetable says it's math, language, arts, science, or social studies. We just start playing and put it all together, and we're all working on curricular objectives. And the other thing that we have done, and we'll be getting into a little later on in the year, is using Minecraft as a virtual learning space. Last year we created we created scale models of Greek structures, ancient Greek structures based on archaeological sketches and floor plans. So there's a lot of math involved with the measurements and coming up with a scale and doing things proportionally. We also use Minecraft to create a medieval fief, where students had to kind of survey the land as it was generated and figure out where's the best place to set up your castle, where's the best place for your fields and your community, what resources are around that you can exploit to develop your space. Right now we don't have the technology, we don't have the Wi-Fi or the networking to have collaborative Minecraft things, so we're kind of working individually on separate machines, but hopefully someday we'll be able to to do that collaboratively in that virtual space, and then have virtual field trips where we can invite other schools to come and see our work, and we can go see their work. And so that's one of the ways we've been using kind of the gaming anyway in our curriculum.
That sounds really interesting. It's from my perspective, it's great to hear teachers just using technologies in different ways to communicate with pupils. Mm-hmm. And I think that sounds really ingenious for what you're doing, and where it can actually go as well. It's quite exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, and I think there's a lot you can do with a box of Lego too. But Minecraft it doesn't hurt when you step on it. And I think the big piece to that is being able to kind of work collaboratively and then extend it to beyond your school walls, where you can be working with another school elsewhere, anywhere elsewhere. Yeah.
So maybe just in general, Miles, you've maybe covered already, but how important do you feel ICT is in education?
Yeah, it's hard to say it's not important, given even just the way we're talking right now over Skype. I mean, this is 10 years ago. This was sci-fi, right? And it opens up greater possibilities. I was thinking too. I don't recall ever having a class when I was growing up in how to use a telephone, but that was a major communications technology. And I think the difference is with online communications technology and social media, everything is public. Everything is, the consequences are far greater. So it behooves us, I think, to devote some time to training students and to helping them engage with it, not to isolate it or to ban it from schools, but to engage with it and use it in ways that make sense, in ways that go beyond just sharing what I had for breakfast this morning and tweeting my favorite band. It's got a tremendous power. So we need to look at that, and I think it's only going to get, and it's not as intuitive as picking up a phone either. I think telephones are a one-to-one conversation, whereas social media, you're engaging, potentially thousands or hundreds of thousands of people or more.
Yeah.
We have a fairly liberal policy in our school. We don't have Wi-Fi at the moment. We're getting there. I think there's some concerns about bandwidth. Our administrators are very keen or open to the idea of the bring your own device. So we've been trying to use that to allow students to pull out their devices during class and do a search, or to take some notes or snap a picture of a project in progress. We've also been using Edmodo, and there's an Edmodo app on most for Android and iPhones, and so it's nice to be able to just to have that connection throughout the day to your virtual learning space, and so that it really kind of breaks down the walls of the school. We can learn beyond. We don't need to be in that little classroom to learn and to engage with each other. We've got this bigger space that includes anybody who's watching. Yeah.
And how do you see the education system progressing? Like, if you can maybe think of, I suppose, in 10 years' time, how would a classroom look?
Yeah, well, I've been teaching 20 years, and I know things move pretty slowly. So it may well be exactly the same, but I think for sure there's going to be more work done online. I think there's going to be I think every physical learning space is going to have a virtual learning space as well, and that the kind of the classroom groupings, maybe the student groupings, may be more arbitrary, and that teachers will probably take a role not as content specialists and delivering knowledge, but as kind of coordinators of learning, where we look at things like process and strategies for learning, where we teach how to learn and how to organize and how to plan and how to pursue things and put the pieces together. And the students are the ones that curate their own knowledge. And we give them the tools to be able to find that and put it together, and then help develop that online platform for sharing that and communicating what they understand. So I think it's going to look very different. I've always said, if we could have twice as many school buses, we would need half the school building, because we'd be out in the world learning things. So I'd like to see a lot more of that, but I know the finances of running a bus is probably more than just putting a device in somebody's hand with a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah. And if you could sum up education in one word, I know it's difficult to do, but what would it be?
Well, how about a word and two-paragraph explanation? Is that what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the word that I eventually settled on after I read the question was mindfulness. And it has to do kind of with my kind of understanding of Buddhism, where being mindful means being aware and being present where you are and the circumstances you're in, and fully engaging with that. And so in order to kind of appreciate the unique qualities of the world around you at the time, it helps to have some understanding of it. And so the more you know, the more you can appreciate what's around you, and the understanding of science and math and the language to articulate it and understand and communicate allows you to engage more fully in the world. And it's about kind of enjoying your life and experiencing joy and sharing that with others. And when you're aware and mindful, you see needs around you, and you are better able to fill those needs too, and help others, and intervene when you see tragedy or inequalities. So mindfulness, I think. There's probably others, but
that's a great word.
Yeah, right.
And just suppose finally now, Miles, would there be anything else that you would like to add or discuss?
Yeah. Well, we didn't. We kind of talked about the social media aspect, and I think what you're doing here with the interviews and kind of generating communications to share with others is really important. And I've not been that long really into the teaching aspect of the social media, but boy, oh boy, what a difference that makes. And I would just encourage everybody to, the teachers to find that social media presence and engagement. Connect with other teachers. It's a lot easier than you think, and it really opens up your world and your practice. And I read a tweet yesterday. Somebody said that they've interacted with more teachers and more frequently with teachers in the last year on Twitter than they had in 20 years of teaching, and that's for sure true. And it doesn't need to be overwhelming. You manage it. And so yeah, find me on Twitter. We'll keep talking.